Not on the field, court, or ice. You are on the couch. From DG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, C. Wall. Delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from the hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's C-Wall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am. Through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make them mad, man. See all that we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your weekly DMV sports update. And I am your host, C-Ball, checking in as I do each and every single week to give you the latest and greatest information on all things DMV sports. I already see that the C-Ball Sports and Entertainment Chaplain, Mazdak, has checked in with the queen herself, Mama Waller. Thanks so much, you all, for being here. Cameron Mingo has already checked in as well. You all, let's go down the drill. You know what it is. This is a live Bowie television recording. Everything we say and do here will be on Bowie television. And depending on your questions and comments, you might have an opportunity to be seen on the Tizoob. So you can catch Coaching from the Couch each and every single day if you are in the Washington metropolitan area on Verizon Fios channel 11 and Comcast Xfinity channel 77. All right. How's everybody doing? How are you doing? Like, seriously, I feel like it's been a while since I've asked, how is everyone doing? And another queen herself, Joy, has checked in. Everybody give Joy a high five. Love emoji. We want to send all the love and vibes Joy's way. She's been a bit under the weather, so you all send your healing vibes and prayers her way. And while you're here as well, make sure you are hitting that love button and sharing this show with your DMV sports loving family and friends. On the show, we're going to do a Georgetown Hoyas update, a Terps update, Caps, Wizards for sure, Commanders for sure. So if you know any fans of these teams, you want to make sure you tag them in as soon as possible so that they can be a part of the live discussion. Again, Georgetown, Maryland, Caps, Wizards, short enough. Commanders, short enough. Okay, let's check in and let's get it going, you all. Let's go. Do you all think, and be honest, because I was just telling you all last week that we might have to have a very tough conversation with the Georgetown Hoyas. Do y'all remember me saying that? I think I told you that, right? I said sooner or later, we're going to end up having to have a very tough conversation about the Georgetown Hoyas. And then, lo and behold, what ends up happening is the Georgetown Hoyas end up winning a Big East game. Y'all, seriously, love button, fire emoji, for real, y'all. Give them a round of applause. I know that probably sounds bad. You're probably like, seriously, C-Ball, we're going to clap for Georgetown, who has not won a Big East game since March 13th, 2021. And my answer, if I am serious about giving them a hand clap and snapping their 29-game losing streak, guess what my answer is? My answer is yes. we're going to clap for the Georgetown Hoyas for finally winning a Big East game since March the 13th. Whew. All right. And the person they lost to, or the team they lost to, rather, they won. The team who lost to them was DePaul. Now, I had to be honest. Even when I saw that the Hoyas won, I said, wow, I wouldn't want to be that team. But their problem, not the Georgetown Hoyas. Listen, I'm not saying that there's still some tough conversations that need to be had. But what I am saying is you can hold off for a little bit, just a little bit, because they finally won a game. Just small steps, progress, okay? Progress. All right. Terps fans, check in. Okay. Maryland, the men Terrapins beat Wisconsin, and they will be home on Saturday to host Nebraska. They will have 3 games at home. The game will be televised on BTN starting at 4:30. Fans can also listen to Maryland Sports Network or the Team 980 to check in on the game as well. Also, I think this is very important. Saturday, during the game against Nebraska, they will have the program Fearless Women celebration of 50 years of Title IX. So the Terps will wear a special 50 patch on their uniforms to recognize the fearless women in their lives. How awesome is that? With the women, they have welcomed Michigan in town tonight in a huge Big Ten matchup. So both teams are ranked in the top 15 in the latest AP poll. This should absolutely be a game to watch. So if you're checking in and you're watching, you can watch both. I promise you can watch both and check in on all that. Caps fans, got to do a quick Caps update, and then we're going to spend some time on the Wizards. And we're going to spend some time on the Commanders. So get your Caps fans in here. Get your Wizards. You definitely want to get your Wizards. Wizards groups, Wizards fans. You want them in here. And Commanders as well. We don't have a show currently in off football season for the Commanders. Not a whole show dedicated to the Commanders, but let me tell you, we're going to definitely talk about the Commanders. So Caps fans, love emoji, fire emoji, real quick. And they are getting down right now with the Pittsburgh Penguins. But did you see these new uniforms? Check these out. Aren't these nice? I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to unveil this uniform when they play Carolina outdoors on February 18th at Carter Finley Stadium. Check these out. Ooh, these nice. Would you buy one? I really want to know. Would you buy one? I think they're pretty. I think they're pretty dope. Let us know, First String Podcast. Would you buy one of these? Definitely feeling it. Listen, Caps always going, I guess, can we say ball out when we talking about hockey? Or it's kind of like the puck or, fire on the ice. Not real sure what we're supposed to say when we want to talk about they blazing on the ice. It's so hot. The ice is melting. I don't know. We'll figure out how we want to describe how the Caps are doing. But see, we got to bring up the Caps because the hockey is in season. The Caps are in season. So we're always going to bring them up. But I definitely wanted to show you all the uniforms because I thought that was a pretty dope update. Wizards fans, come on, Wizards fans. Check in. We're going to talk a little Wizards. I'm saying little facetiously because we're going to talk a lot of Wizards. And then we're going to talk a lot of Commanders. We're going to try to get about 10 minutes each of Wizards and Commanders. So remember last week, we shared this. My colleague Neil We all kind of felt it. The rumor started swirling, and it happened. Rui Hachimura traded. Love button, fire emoji. If you saw the reels and the posts from myself and my media colleague, Karita Parks, who was also with the Inside the Wizard staff, did you see all of that? And I see this right here. If you go online on Inside the Wizards, you will see Karita's article with all of the details. So great plug, Cameron Mingo, for me to share with everybody. Karita's article on Inside the Wizards on Sports Illustrated Fan Nation, SI.com. Inside the Wizards. So if you all saw Karita's page, you saw a reel that included Karita, our media colleague, and at times just personal on-site photographer, Wayne Cole, and also from the Inside the Wizard staff, Brianna Holmes, and myself. Let's just go ahead and be real. Why don't we? Is that okay with you all? Love button, fire emoji. If you want me to be very, very real right now about last Saturday night at Capital One Arena. And as Karita said in her video, and she included the three of us as well, she also wrote an article about this too. It was called "Was the Writing on the Wall" for Rui Hachimura trade. That came out on Sunday. Because Saturday night, it was abundantly clear, you all, that was Rui Hachimura's last game as a Washington Wizard. It wasn't so much clear at the beginning of the game. Before the game started, meaning pregame. Wasn't real clear during the game, but I tell you what. And as Karita posted and wrote about, like I said, she has 2 articles sharing her thoughts. I posted about it as well. We knew. We knew. What we did not know was who was going to be the team and who the Wizards, who their trade partner was. And I'm going to say a few things about Rui. I think Rui is an asset. Absolutely. Rui has already mentioned in his introductory talks with the media out in LA, in Japan, the Los Angeles Lakers are the most popular team. Of course they are, right? Of course. And I think from a business perspective, we're talking business, right? From a business perspective, and overall, amazing move. Amazing. It's smart. It's very smart from a business perspective for certain. And it's smart for Rui. As was reported publicly and Karita shared in her articles, the Wizards had not extended Rui. So he did not get a contract extension from the team. I think that's something that had been under the radar. I think there had been so much talk about whether the Lakers were eyeing Brad, the Lakers were eyeing Kuzma. Even more so, going back again to Karita's article about the writing being on the wall, Kyle Kuzma and Rui Hachimura play the same position. And it's quite a few people on the team that play the same position. So it wasn't, while it was a shock, it's not a shock per se, because we knew it was somebody. And even with the reports that the Lakers wanted Kuzma back, all that, the season that Kuzma is having, I'm so certain the Wizards are going to make an attempt at trying to get Kyle Kuzma to stay. Right? And so, you hate to see Rui go. If there's any Lakers fans on, you know, you've heard me mention this to Lakers fans, even though there's a lot of talk about Russell Westbrook potentially being traded as well from the Lakers. Russell Westbrook loved Rui Hachimura. When Westbrook was here that year, he always complimented on Rui's game, both offensively and defensively. Always talked about he could play the 1 through the 5, and just he can guard the 1 through the 5. And Rui has a fearless approach to how he plays the game. You all may have heard me jokingly say on my own page about how much my dad, and did you all say hello to Pops Waller? Definitely say hello to Pops Waller right now, because he really enjoyed watching Rui Hachimura play. He always complimented Rui's game and would say, that dude can play some basketball. I'm sure Rui did not like coming off the bench regularly. And I could definitely see the argument in saying, why not have, instead of Denny starting alongside Kyle Kuzma, perhaps it needed to be more of Rui starting alongside Kyle Kuzma versus Rui coming off the bench. But in one of the press conferences that we highlighted on Inside the Wizards, it was Rui Hachimura telling us that he told his teammates, he told his coaches, he can bring the energy off the bench. He can be the energy. He will be the energy. He is the energy. And that's what he did. He consistently showed up. Now, here's where some things may have been questioned about Rui. And that was the best ability is availability. So at times we know that Rui was out a season ago, taking some personal time off. And we also know that he was out with a bone bruise injury for about a month or so. But when Rui was when he was on the court, he was there. He was active. He let his presence be known. Very rarely did he have a quiet night. He's already shown and proven and had a solid first night in a Lakers uniform. So you all, I say all that to say, I wish Rui Hachimura nothing but the best. I think he's going to do phenomenal. I think he's going to do great as a Los Angeles Laker. I really do. But it's more to come, more to be seen for the Wizards. Kendrick Nunn had a strong first performance with the Wizards against the Houston Rockets, but it's more to come there. There's also, the reports are swirling. Are the Wizards done? Was that their only move before the trade deadline? Sounds like it may not be their only move. I guess it depends on how the rest of this West Coast trip turns out. The Wizards come back home. They're not back home until next week when they face Portland at Capital One Arena. So there's more to come. There's definitely rumblings about another move, but you already see people putting their best foot forward. With Rui not being there, you're seeing more opportunities for Will Barton. Remember, we haven't seen Will Barton in a while. We've seen him, but we haven't seen him really make an impact on the court. So more to come there. Here's the thing that truly needs to be watched. Yes, let's see if the Wizards make another move. Let's also see, that's one. Two, let's see if the Wizards can actually get over 500, knowing that they're dealing with injuries because, oh yes, by the way, Kristaps Porzingis is injured. So they got another injury. Monte Morris had to sit out against Houston as well with right hamstring soreness. So that influx of the lineup continues to happen. So you need to keep your eyes there. And of course, let's see if the Wizards are able to convince Kyle Kuzma to continue to be a Washington Wizard after this season. Because here's the thing. You made the decision not to extend Rui. It's clear that you want Kyle Kuzma to stay. But if Kyle Kuzma doesn't stay, then trading Rui doesn't look like the best idea after all. So, a lot of different storylines right now. A lot of different storylines with the Wizards. let's see what happens. That's all I can say. Let's see what happens. Is when the Wizards are on, they're on, but they have not had the luxury this season of having everyone healthy at the same time for an extended period of time. They've probably only had maybe 2 or 3 games with every player with a completely empty injury report. I want to say it's only been 2 or 3 times. So, more to come. Rest of our time here will be on the Commanders. If you have just tuned in, make sure you hit that love button, drop a comment in the chat, and share this show with your DMV sports loving family and friends. We are about to talk Commanders. And quite frankly, Commanders fans, if you have tuned in, hit that love button, drop a comment, fire emoji. What do y'all want to talk about with the Commanders? Seriously. And y'all know sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'll say, well, hey, why don't you all tell me how you would like to spend our time together? It's almost like when you go to therapy, you're like, well, how would you like to spend the time together? What would you like to talk about? What questions do you have for me? What would you like my opinion on? There's so much that could be going on. And while you all are thinking and pondering on what you would like my opinion on regarding the Commanders, let me say this to Commanders fans. Can I say something to y'all real quick? Check in, Commander, because I really want to talk to y'all about something. I want to talk to you all about this. Y'all really showed off heckling those Dallas Cowboys fans like that. Why would y'all do that to those people? Why would you do that to them? Y'all heckled them. Oh my goodness. Let me also say this, Commanders fans. And tell the truth, why don't you? Okay? We're all family here. And we believe that transparency builds trust. Everybody was scared for a minute there, weren't you? You were scared. You, for a split second, you said, oh no, the Cowboys are about to beat the San Francisco 49ers. Go ahead and admit it. Go ahead. I see John Adams is admitting it. Admit it. You really thought for a split second. Don't come and tell me that you didn't. For a split second, you said, oh my goodness, Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys are really about to win this football game. Oh no. Make it stop. It was just me? No, it wasn't. I wasn't by myself in that one. I wasn't the only one that got a little nervous. But I'm going to say this. While I still would like any questions that you all may have about the Commanders, let me say this. I've always told y'all that I thought the Dallas Cowboys was a good team. I have always said that. I think highly of their defense. I really do. And, it's crazy to me. And go ahead, love button, fire emoji, because I told y'all this could happen. And here's when I told you all this could happen. I told you I'm not going to let this go. I'm not until the offseason and free agency starts back up. Because I told you all that every single team got better convincingly. Now, let me say this. Free agency was not, the Commanders did not have a very impressive free agency. But I have to admit, the draft went pretty well for them. When you really think about it, let's be for real. Jahan Dotson, Brian Robinson, Sam Howell even. I think Percy Butler had a good season, right? Fedarian Mathis, unfortunately, got hurt, got injured very, very early on. So he, missed his rookie season. But overall, I think we could say there was some gems in this past draft. And I told you all that. I said, after I really looked through it. But I also told you all that out of the 4 teams in the NFC East, the Commanders were looking like the bottom of the NFC East based on the offseason moves and draft, right? Offseason, free agency and draft. That was my concern. Of course, barring any injuries, right? Because you always got to say barring any injuries. Here is my hope. I hope that the Commanders take a page out of the New York Giants book from a coaching perspective and how you build your coaching staff, how you go about coaching to your players' strengths and creating plays and schemes that work for them. Now, y'all know I give credit where it's due. We saw that happen with Jack Del Rio on the defense. They had to slowly get into that, but it happened on defense with the Commanders. So I'd like to see them take a page out of the New York Giants book from that perspective. The other perspective is I would like to see them take a page out of the Philadelphia Eagles book, because I told you all last year, and I'm going to keep saying it, because I'm always say this too, that I always tell you all, and I hope you take my advice on this. Always pay attention to what the division is doing. Yes, also look at the games outside of the division, because those are important. They're very important. But pay attention to what the division is doing, because then that lets you know how they measure up in the division. And I said it. I said the Eagles have built their team and building in the offseason. They are Super Bowl or bust. I remember saying it. They're Super Bowl or bust. Somebody must have said, this is the assignment. And they understood the assignment, right? And I said no least the NFC championship. That's what they're trying. Again, what I like to say, barring any injury. And I got that from Pops Waller. He always says that. My dad told me that. He was always saying, barring any injury, long as don't nobody get hurt. So, right. Exactly right, Dad. As long as no one gets hurt. I have to also admit, the Eagles shocked me last weekend. I'm not saying that I didn't think they were going to win the game, because I absolutely thought that I thought they were going to be victorious over the New York Football Giants. I did. But didn't they beat them convincingly? Now I know New York had probably given out a fuel, so they were hanging on by a thread, you know. But I was watching the San Francisco 49ers in the Cowboys game, and I said to myself, well, which one of these teams is going to be able to beat the Philadelphia Eagles team that we all just watched last night? Because neither one of these teams is going to beat them. No way. No how. No. But I could be wrong, because that was two very strong defenses watching with the 49ers and the Cowboys. Very strong. So we'll see. My Super Bowl prediction was the Bengals versus the 49ers. So, you know. But, you know, we'll see. I just keep saying, you know, and there's so much more to talk about as the Commander season goes on. You all know this, you know, planning for potential sale, free agency, ensuring that the coaching staff feels the needs of the team. Listen, you all, there's always so much more to come, and you all stuck this thing out with me, as you always do, each and every single week. You all listen. Thank you so much for tuning in and getting all the highlights of what is going on in the DMV, in the sports world. Listen, you all, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.
You're not on the field, or ice. You're on the couch. From DG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, C. Ball, delivering coverage for all DC
Y'all
sports
already
teams
know what it
from the
is.
hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's Seaworld, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, picking any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make them mad, man. See all that we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.